Okay, so we will get going with the AHP Animal Health Plan webinar. If I can just get a couple of people to type into the chat box that you can all hear me, then we'll be able to get going. Just a couple of admin things before we start. The sidebar that you'll see for the webinar on the side of your screen, you can minimize that to clear your screen a bit. If you just click on there'll be a little orange button with an arrow on it. If you just click on that, it will minimize that screen for you. And then you'll be able to see the whole screen on your computer. There's also should be a button on the side there as well, just to maximize your screen so it fills up your entire monitor as well on that same menu bar. Alright, so we'll begin with the AHP webinar. So thank you all for coming. My name's Kieran, and I'm just going to go through what the Animal Health Plan is and how you can use it to quickly create plans and manage tasks on a farm by the veterinarian. So the Animal Health Plan is basically a state-of-the-art web app which is delivered through software as a service via the internet. It's designed for the veterinary professional and farmer to work collaboratively to achieve best practice in animal and farm management by creating health plans that are live and up to date. So if we just go through some of the features of the Animal Health Plan first. The first and sort of main feature of the health plan is it's always live and up to date. So anything you change on the health plan is going to be immediately available for everyone to see. So if you change a date or add a task or delete a task, when you log in and view that, everyone's going to be able to see that immediately, which is one of the differences from your wall planner, where you'd have to go through, print a new plan to get that change available. The next couple of features that are great about the health plan is you can set up all your tasks and templates before you start. So all these predefined tasks and templates can then be used to quickly create a health plan on the fly. All the tasks are then attached to reminders, which can be by email or SMS, and these can be automated as well. So there's no need to go in and have someone click a button to send them out. Once the date for that task rolls around, the reminders will be sent out automatically. And you can choose to send them out a number of days before or afterwards, and you can have more than one if you'd like. As well as the calendar being available online, you can also print out a hard copy to an A1 size, and you've also got options there to print out just to normal A4, A2 or A3 as well. And there's a whole lot of options available to you to be able to print that for to use the maximum real estate on that calendar available. So you can add things such as the farm name, the recommended products. You can put a little tick box on there, and it's all configurable by the user. You can also incorporate multiple plans onto one calendar. So instead of having one plan for each group on a farm, all those different plans can be put onto one calendar and be hung up on the wall for easy viewing. There's also a corporate model for farmers that have different farms across different clinics. So if two different veterinary clinics are managing two different farms owned by the one farmer, we can set up the farmer to the corporate model, so when they log in, they can see both their plans even though 2 different veterinary clinics are actually managing it. All the tasks in the system can also be linked to product recommendations, so it provides that extra value to the farmer, so when they log in and see what tasks they need to do, they've got some recommendations there for the products that they should use, and it creates a point of discussion as well for when you're actually going through and setting up those plans and tasks. You can discuss what products the farmer should go through and use. Now, to get you started, we've also incorporated a template library into the system, and this has been provided by some experienced veterinarians from Vet Enterprises, and some of them are very in-depth and well-used plans. So instead of starting from scratch and having to put every task and template into the system one by one, you can view the template library and then import the templates you use across, and you can also modify these templates as well. So if you decide that there's some tasks in there that you don't need to use, you can delete those, add your own tasks, and even just change the names and dates and stuff on there as well, just so it's customized to your business. If you want to start from scratch and build up from the ground up, then you can also create your own tasks and templates to do that as well. So you've got full control over what goes into your system. So in terms of setting up tasks and templates and other setup options, there's a clinic admin for the system, and there can be more than one, and their role is just to go through and add those tasks, add products, set up your holiday skipping, so that when the vet comes around to actually use the plan, everything's there and already done. Then the vet will be able to just go in, modify those plans, and create farms and farmers as well. So if we go into the health plan now, to log into the animal health plan, you'll be going to www.animalhealthplan.com. Then we're just clicking to sheep, beef, dairy, and logging in. Now, while I'm just logging in, the way the health plans work is you will have individual tasks that make up templates, and the templates are what you use to import into a plan to create the plan that you want to use. So the tasks and templates, when you set them up, will not actually have any sort of dates involved with them. It's not until you create that plan where you'll be asked for a base date, and then from that all the dates will be painted on your plan. Oh, I'll just try that again. Oh, I'll just put in that H there. Okay, so once we're logged into the health plan, and we're going to assume at the moment that all the setup behind the scenes has been done, and we've imported in all our tasks and templates. To actually create a plan, we're just going to health plans, and then we can choose to create a new plan or create new plan from existing. So create new plan from existing is great if you've done a plan the year before for a farm and it's been really good and you want to use that again, so you can import that plan and then just go through and edit the individual tasks on a need-be basis. The same goes as if you've just done a plan, and then the farm down the road, which is pretty similar, wants the same sort of thing. You can then go and import a plan from another farm as well, and start from that too. So if you're wanting to add a new plan, you'll click on the Create a New Plan from Template, and then it will ask you to select a farm name. So these can already be entered in the system, and we can select from an existing one. If it's not there, we just click on the Couldn't Find the Farm from the List button. We can then go through and fill in the farm details. And again, if the farmer exists, we can select from the list and it will pre-fill in those details for us. And then it's just going through and typing in the farm details as well. So I'll just put in some default values here. And remember that if you've actually set these up previously or the year before, you won't actually have to go through and re-enter any of these details. You can just use the stuff that's already been set up. When we go next, it will then ask you to enter the details for the plan. So we might be doing a sheep breeding plan. So we just enter in the name. And then we need to put a year for the plan as well. So the reason it asks you to put in the year is it's going to append the plan name and the year together so that you've always got a unique plan. So what we found is some people were not putting a year on the end, and when they came to look at plans over multiple years, they all had the same name. So we'll just append that year on the end. There's also a Can Also Be Viewed By button. So if there's another vet in the clinic which would like to view this plan, you can just select them from the list, and then they'll be able to help manage that plan as well. Finally, the next step is just to drop down from your list of templates and choose the one that you would like to use. So we might use the sheep breeding lamb. Once you've selected the template, it will then just give you a quick description of it so you know it's the one you want to use. Then when we go next, it's going to ask us to set up the farm contacts. So each task that's in the system can be assigned a responsibility. And from that responsibility, your farm contacts are assigned to that responsibility. So when that task comes up, and if it's got a reminder on it, the reminder will be sent to all the contacts that are under that responsibility. So if we add one in now, and we might just drop down and use an existing one, John Smith, or you could go through and enter a new one as well. And we'll give him the responsibility of farm manager. So what that will mean is when a task with the responsibility of the farm manager comes up, he'll be sent a reminder. We just click Insert, and we can go through and enter anyone else in as well. When we go next, we now come to the Choose Base Task. And the base task is the task that all the other tasks in the system will fall off. So the base task can be a weaning date or mating date or something similar to that that's sort of set in stone. Then all the other tasks will fall a certain number of days before or after that base task start date. So if we put in a weaning date here, and we'll set it into February, then when we go next, it will come through and actually create the plan for us. And quickly, all the tasks that were in that plate have now been added into a plan. So we can see them all on the list here. At the top of the screen, we can sort by task name, date, or group. If we go task name, it quickly sorts them alphabetically for us. If it's easier to see by date, we can sort by date, and so on through the other columns as well. The next thing that we can do as well is we can also search for tasks in that plan too. So if we wanted to search for the drench, we can just type in some of the name, search, and it will bring up the drench for us. So if we just remove that drench now, other things that you'll want to do with the plan to actually, when you're going through and discussing this with the farmer, is you might want to add new tasks into there as well. So if we click on the Add Task button, we can then search for a new task to add into that plan. So we'll just drop down from the list, and we can use the quick keys to quickly go to that letter. And for this one, we might want to insert a dead lamb autopsy. We can then choose the date. Whether a reminder needs to be sent for this, we're going to say no. The duration, so number of days it's going to take to complete it. Who the task is editable by, so you can choose to have vet farmer or vetted farmer edit it. So if you only want the vet to be able to complete it or to be able to move the dates, then you'll just set vet. If it doesn't matter, then you could go vet and farmer. Finally, you're just setting the status to finished or not finished. When we go insert, that task will be added into the plan for us as well. As well as just adding tasks in one by one, there's also a bulk insert button, and this will just add multiple of the same task into the system. So when we go bulk insert, it brings up some selections for us, and we can drop down the task that we want to insert, and it might be a drench that we're going to do over consecutive weeks. Once we've chosen the task, we can then choose the frequency that that's going to be added in. So we can do every month, every week, fortnightly, every day, or we can even just choose ad hoc dates and put them into the system. So if we chose dates, it then comes down and we can actually choose specific dates that we want this task to fall. And we can then quickly add that into the system. We won't do that at this stage, so I'll just cancel that. As well as adding tasks in bulk, you can also insert another template in there. So this plan at the moment is just for one animal group. So if we look in the group column, we've got a group called LB1. So we can also insert another animal group into this plan as well, just by going to the Insert a Template button, choosing the template we wish to insert, and then clicking Select. So we'll choose this and select. And then again, we'll need to choose a base task, which all those other tasks are going to be calculated off. And then we just go insert. Now, when we go insert, it's also going to go through and check to see if any of the tasks fall on a weekend or holiday. And when the clinic admin is actually setting the system up, they can choose whether to place those tasks before the holiday, after the holiday, or on that day. And you can also pop up a screen like the one we have here, just to let them know that you need to go through and check everything. So we can now see, if we expand this page at the bottom to show more tasks, that the other template has been successfully added into this plan for all the MAUs. So again, you can use the group sort to sort by group, so you can easily differentiate between each animal group in the system. As well as adding tasks and templates into the system, you can also quickly delete them. So if it's just one task, you can click on the delete button on the end of the line, or you can also go through and tick items that you would like to delete and then click on the bulk delete button, and it will quickly remove all those tasks for you. As well as deleting and adding, you'll also want to be able to change dates on tasks. So if you go to that task and click on the edit button, you can then go through and change dates, set reminders, and also mark that as done. So if we wanted to change this to the 25th, we can just drop down the calendar and choose the 26th, sorry, and we can also mark that as finished. When we go update, the date will have changed, and that task will also be marked as finished. So to signify it's finished, it just puts a green tick on there so you can clearly see what's still to be done and what's been completed. You've also got options under each task. If we click on the expand button, to see the reminders, who's receiving those reminders, dependencies, and what the recommended products are. So when we expand one of those products, we can see all the email and SMS reminders that will be sent out and what the text on there is going to be. If we want to quickly edit what it's going to say, we click on the edit button and we can go in there and amend that. We can also edit the number of days before or after that task that this reminder will be sent. So the reminders will be sent out on a sort of a standard template, which I'll just bring up now. So on that template, you'll have all your logo and company details at the top, and then your text that you've chosen will be inserted in the middle there with a nice picture on the side and some vet tips down the bottom. So to see who is going to receive that reminder, if we click on the Receiver tab, it will show all the recipients so far of that email or SMS. So this is where the farm contact that we inserted earlier comes into play. So this task had a responsibility of the farm manager, so the farm manager is now going to get that receiver. We can also click on the plus button to add other users on the fly as well. So we can just drop down the list of farm contacts, and straight away it puts those details in, and then we can also choose a responsibility and insert, and it will put that reminder into the system for us. The third tab is the dependency tab, and what this is used for is when the weaning task is moved, for example, there may be some other tasks in the system that need to be moved along with that. So if we move the weaning task back by 7 days, the Drench 1 task may also need to be moved back 7 days as well. So in here we can specify all the products that need to move when that task moves as well. The final tab is the product tab, and this can be set with all the product recommendations for that task that we have, and you can set multiple products in there as well. So a good way to do it is to assign all the products that could be associated with, that could be used with that task into the list, and then it provides a point of discussion with the farmer, and you can go through and remove the ones that you decide are not suitable for that that task or that farm. You can also add products in on the fly by clicking on the plus button again, and then you can go through and choose them from the list. So all the Mary Ellen Care products have already been imported into the system for you, and they'll include all the meat withholding and milk withholding periods. You can put in your own custom ones one by one, or you can also import products in from a CSV sheet, which will be exported out of your practice management system. So we'll just click cancel on that and then go back into the plan. So once you've got the plan all set up and looking and working the way you want it to, there is also a view print calendar option as well. So you can still quickly go and get that printed calendar out of the system and then be able to hang that up on the farm, the calendar shared wall. So if we click view print calendar, it quickly takes us to the calendar screen, and we can then go through and configure that calendar to what we think will look best on that sheet. So there's a number of options here which allow you to show different things. So first of all, there is a show farm button. So if there is multiple farms on this calendar, it will show the farm name so you can differentiate between tasks. There's also a show date, so when that needs to be done, show the recommended products, and also show a checkbox in there so you can tick what's been completed. You can also choose a wide calendar format so that you use up the whole width of a page. There's two types of calendars that you can have. There's a group by month, which is what we're looking at the moment. So each animal group is shown on a separate segment. You can also choose by month, where all the animal groups will just be shown together. Below that, you've also got options for the size of the font, the color, and the skin as well, and you can use those to better fit the information all on one page. So if you've only got a few tasks, you could increase the font to show it easier on one page. If there's a lot of tasks on the page and you can't quite fit it onto one, you can then decrease the font to fit more on there. So if we look at this on an A4 page by going View Print PDF, it will then paint this calendar for us and open it on a PDF viewer to look at. So at the moment, we've printed it to an A4 page, and when we open that, it will probably show over more than one page for us. So if we wanted to fit this on just one page, we could then go back and start using those setup options to remove some of the information that's shown. So we don't really need to show the farm. We don't need a checkbox or a date. And we could then say drop the font to 8 and maybe show just by month. When we go View Print Calendar now and open it, it's going to fit better onto just 2 pages this time. So we can also change the page size if it's still not quite right and fit that onto a larger paper size. So you're in control of all the options to getting that calendar look how you want. If we zoom into that, the calendar will also show all your clinic name and details, as well as the plan name and the dates on there as well. and then you can just print this PDF off and maybe put it on a USB stick. Then you could take it to your local copier to print off a nice A2 sheet which is laminated, and you could take down to the farm to hang up on the wall. We can then quickly go back to the plan again and also amend any details at that time as well. So as well as being able to view the plan in the plan view, just a list of tasks, we've also got a task view segment in the system. So if we go tasks, then task view, we then get some options for viewing all the tasks. So this is really handy if you're a vet and you just want to see all the tasks for all farms that are coming up in the next week. Once you've got that list, you could then go through and call them and organise your calendar and appointments for that week so you know what you need to do. So first of all, you'll just go through and choose a date range. We might just do for the first week of February. You can choose whether the tasks are finished or not finished, and you can also choose the sort order of those tasks as well. So you can do in date order, group by plan, group by task, or also put them into animal groups and farms and owners as well. We can choose just to do one farm or a selection, or if we just click tick all, we can view everyone. When the list comes up, we can then see all the tasks that are going to be coming up for that date range. If we look across the task, we can change dates on there by clicking on the edit button. When it goes into the edit mode, we'll have access to the task start date and also setting whether it's finished or not finished. Next to that, there's the client details option. So if we click on that yellow envelope, down the bottom it will quickly list the contact details for that farm. So if we need to contact them, we can look it up and quickly give them a call. We'll skip the notes section at the moment. The next one is just to quickly delete a task, the big red X. And finally, on the end, we have instruction notes in HTML and also videos as well. So these are really handy if you want to create your own library of how to perform each task. And you can either do an HTML page like this one here, which you just need to click on to bring up, and then the farmer will be able to see what to do. You can standardize ways to do tasks within your business, and it's also really handy if you've got junior vets or something there as well. It gives them instructions how to do that. So you can create all these yourself and go through and then create your own library of them. There's also a video function, and if we click on that, it will pop up a link to a video which you can upload to YouTube and then play a video of how to go through and perform that task as well. So for this, you could start going through, take a digital camera out to the farm, and as you do tasks, start building up that library and then adding them onto the tasks so you know how to do it. From this screen as well, you can also quickly go through and add tasks in as well. So down the bottom you can choose the plan, the task which you want to add, and also the date. So under the report section as well, there's also a couple of extra reports that you can go through and view. So under monthly calendar and yearly calendar, it's basically the same options as what we looked at before for the health plan, but under here You can also incorporate multiple farms and plans together into one calendar as well. So the same options, but just a couple of extra farm and plan options at the top. And the same with the monthly calendar. Under tasks, it will just allow you to print off a task list, like the one we were just looking at, for a particular date range. And from here as well, you can also choose a responsibility. So if you wanted to print off all the tasks for the merchandising manager for the week, you could quickly go and print that off, and then the merchandising manager will be able to see what products should be purchased in that period, or who to contact. There's also a task list, and what that does is just prints off all the tasks in your system. So it's more a management thing where you can go see what's in there and then go through and edit anything. So one of the final things of the health plan which you can look at as well, which is still a little bit of a work in progress, is under the health plan, we can view and edit an existing one. Go view, select the plan. We can also look at products required and updating weights in the system as well. So what this will allow you to do is at the start you can put in an animal count for that group. Then when we go to update weights, we can put in a projection for what we want to happen, and that will be just adding in the daily gains. So from 1st of November to end of the year, we can mention starting at 40 kgs, we might want 5 grams per day. And we could record that on the 1st of November. So that's the projection that we want. We can then add in the actual weight counts that we are doing. So on the 10th of November, the animal count was 95, average kg was 45, and the highest was 50. So all the calculations will be based off the highest kg. When we go insert, it adds that in for us and tells us the difference between the projected and the actual, and gives you a percentage. Now when we go back to the list and click on products required, it will look up all the tasks that have products attached to it and then calculate the best purchasing method for that particular product. So if we look at the first drench, it will tell us the different literage and then how much we will need to purchase based on the weight of the animals and the number in the group, and show you the cost per litre between the difference too. So the farmer will get some benefit out of this, being able to know which one is the best way to purchase it. So that's basically gone through and setting up the plans. So if we just quickly have a look in the background at setup, this is where you can go through and look at the template library and import in any templates that you like. So just under template library, there's a whole list of plans here that have been created by Emma and Don at Vet Enterprises, and you can go through and import these into your system once you've looked at them and then make any modifications. So if I'll just open one up. So you can quickly go through and view what's in there and then decide whether that's going to be useful for your practice. And remember, you can go through and delete tasks from here and put in new ones once you've imported it in. So at the moment I think we've got 20 odd beef templates in there, about 8 dairy, and about 20 odd sheep templates in there as well. So there's a fair few in there for you to go through and view and choose from. If we look under the price list, it will show all the products in there at the moment. So as I mentioned before, all the Merial and Care products have already been loaded in there with the milk withholding and meat withholding periods, a recommended retail, which you can then go in, and if we click on the edit button, you can edit that price as well. So all those products have been done for you. Under others, you can go through and start adding in your own ones just by add new product. And under import, you can also import from a Excel or CSV sheet from your practice management system. Under task instructions, you can go through and view any HTML or video instructions in there, and then you've got options to create your own as well. So we won't go into the setup options too much for this, the AHP webinar. So at the moment, that's basically how the animal health plan works. So if you have any questions, probably for such a large group, if you just type any questions into the question box, we can then read them and go through and answer a few for you. If you can't see the question box, just remember you might need to open that again by clicking on that orange button with the red arrow, and that will give you options for the toolbar. So I'll just wait while you can think of some questions, and then we'll go through and answer those. So any questions that you have, if you just type them into the question box, I'm going to hang around for another 5 or 10 minutes and I'll be able to answer those for you. So a few questions are coming through now. So Andrew asked how many templates can be added into one plan. You can add as many as you want. It's just going to be a big plan and be very cluttered. So it's going to be a little bit harder to manage and see things in there. But you have got, as you look at this plan here, you have got the sort options for group and everything in there. The only thing with those plans as well is it is an 18-month period that the plan runs for as well. So you must fit everything into that 18-month period. So there's just a question about the products reading kgs per mil as opposed to mils per kg. At the moment, that's just how the products have been imported from Merial. So there's no particular reason at the moment. It just has to be one way or the other. There's a good question here from Bianca about the templates. So each template must have at least one base state in it, base task, but you can have more than one base task as well. So you could have multiple ones in there if you needed to. So each task in the system you then assign to a base task. So a question from William about whether the products are assigned to tasks on an individual basis. You've got both options. So you can assign products to a task. So every time that task is used in a plan, those recommendations will come up. Or you've got the option of putting nothing on there and then assigning those products as you actually create the plan.
Their plans and stuff, but they can't edit anything unless you've said they can.
So in terms of viewing the plans, question from Jason, the farmers will be able to see pretty much the same thing that the vet sees, apart from clinic admin will obviously have access to all the setup part, so that will be blocked out. On each task, remember, you can also set who can edit that. So there's either vet, farmer, or vet and farmer. So you've still got control over who can actually move things and delete things on the plan as well.
Or mark them as done.
Or the option to mark them as done as well. In terms of support for the animal health plan, all the technical support is covered by the CFL help desk. So if you want any technical support, you can email forum or phone through on 09 489 2280. In terms of purchasing AHP, you can talk to your Muriel representative. So Rachel has asked about registering clients. So what should happen is once you register them, you'll need to, the system won't automatically send an email. You'll need to do that with the email address that you've registered them with, along with a password. And then once the farmer logs in, then they should be able to go in and change their password to something that they can remember. And the default password for everything, so including all the new vet users as well, will be 1234 ABCD. So it's all pretty simple until they change it. So another question from Andrew, in terms of printing the calendars, this year we're not going to be printing them remotely, so you'll just need to use the view print PDF and then choose the options that you want to view that plan as, and then put that on a USB, and you can take that to your local copier, and then they can print it off and laminate it and do whatever you want.
weight stuff.
So Jason has asked about is there graphing functions for projected and actual weight figures? No, there's no graphing functions at the moment. So as I mentioned, that's still a work in progress, but we envision that will come later. So because the AHP is an online system, it can be updated relatively easy, and then those changes are available to everyone straight away. So it's always being tweaked and updated from all the user suggestions regularly.
Just
So in terms of going forward with the plan as well, we are taking in a lot of user feedback. So those of you that have been here from the start would have noticed many changes. So yeah, the more people that sign up and any feedback that comes through, then we can continue to update the AHP and make it something that works for everyone. So William has asked about the beginning and end dates of a plan. So the plan has to fall within an 18-month period, and the dates for each task are calculated from the base date that you select. All the other tasks in the system will then fall off that base date. So you're setting the number of days that each task will fall off a particular base date. So if you are inserting extra templates into a plan, you will need to make sure that it's not going to go over that 18-month period.
ask him what he means.
So Rachel's just asked about some clients may not have an email address to be able to log in with. What you can do, it's pretty easy to set up email accounts these days. So for Hotmail, Gmail, you can quickly log on and create an account for the farmer. They don't have to use it. So once you've got it set up, you can then use that address for the login, and then the farmer's got that option as well of if they do decide that they need an email address at some time, that one's already set up for them. So the final question here from Ben, he's just asking about creating links from the plan to the clinic website. I'm not quite sure what you mean, so if you want to type something else in there just to further explain it, we might be able to answer that for you. So Ben's question about a farmer going to a website to buy a product. So there's no linking as directly as such, but in the email reminder, you've got ability to actually choose the text that you want to go on there. So you could put it into that text, into that reminder, the message that you want and whereabouts to go, so to your website, for example, to purchase that. Okay, so we've got no more questions coming through at the moment, so I'll just hang around for another couple minutes or so, but at this stage, that's pretty much all for the webinar, so thank you all for attending, and please sign up if you're interested or contact CFL for any further technical information. Thank you. So just to cap off about one of the questions that Ben asked earlier, I mean, the system's not really designed as an online sales system. What we're really trying to get out of this system is just a system for vets to work with their farmers and clients to be able to provide the gold standard of care, sort of. So we're not really aiming this at a sales perspective. It's just to increase sort of the efficiency and productivity for both the farmer and the vet.